Now we're on to the next match. Yuna taking on Sky. Sky still using Royal Paladins. Yuna is using Witches, actually. We're already past the grade 1 stage. Let's do soul checks. Leanne first. Probably use Leanne's skill. That's why Toy Pugil is there. And then Dirna first. And he's got the main. And heal triggers. Unfortunately, even with the heal trigger, that the main can only hit the rear. Yuna did also drive check a Fianna, if I remember right, unless that was the damage check. I believe there was a Fianna in hand. So Ezra appears. And now the damage is at 1-1 again. And there's the Fianna I was thinking of. Now what I thought was going to happen was I thought that she'd try to... Oh, never mind. Tried to do Fianna's skill to draw 2, but can't. Did the game freeze? Okay, I think I'm lagging. 16 at the Vanguard, 2 passes. Yuna could have Legion that turn, but not a lot of good would have come out of it. You know, comparatively. Fianna is there sitting pretty until the next turn when the skill works. And yeah, there's lag. It's not just me. And that heal trigger signifies that Yuna will be able to Legion next turn no matter what happens. Which also means Yuna doesn't have to guard. Sky Limit's performing his Legion first. Heal, starter. Margle, and Margle. And he does run multiple copies of the starter because you can get it out with the Legion skill. It was seen in the last match, but it bears repeating. So with the Legion skill, Soul Blast 2, Persona Blast. And out comes the grade 2. Deciding on what grade 1. That grade 0. And this is a 12k attacker as long as the Vanguard is in Legion, so this is actually a 16k column. And now for the grade 1. Chooses that unit, which gains 4k if the Vanguard is in Legion. Doesn't have to be a Seeker Legion, just a Legion. Technically doesn't even have to be a Royal Paladin Legion. And for some reason, Sky always forgets to do the discard until later. Heat of the moment, but as long as he does it. Drops and draws for Leanne. And we have the full power 31k to the Vanguard. But since Yuna's at 0 damage, he doesn't have to guard. Draw trigger appears. And 20k to the Vanguard. He doesn't have any damage flipped, so there's no fear in letting this hit for the sake of that. But guards it anyway because he has the guard. And this is going to be 21. And to the Vanguard. So he takes it. So now we can see Legion skill. But of course first we're going to see the Legion itself. He's returning Heal, Dare Day, which is another mate, a Fianna, and a draw trigger. So the ability to retire 1 and draw 2 can only activate if they have 2 grade 0s on the field. Currently he only has 1, but that's about to change because of Legion skill. Counterblast 2. 2 units on his field become grade 0. Checking the top 10 for said grade 0, and he's already got 2. And those are all heals. Now if Yuna had the choice, there would be 2 heal triggers. Luckily for Sky, Yuna doesn't have that choice. Sky himself does. So if he wants, I don't think Sky realizes that he's the one who has the choice. I can't say anything, but it says here on the skill. He/she then chooses 1 grade 0 among them for each of the rear guard circles. Meaning Sky chooses. This goes back to the original fear of the witches, in which everyone believed that they got the power to choose, so you could just take out heals and things. But that's not quite how they work. Perfect Guard's the Vanguard. Tenge Guard attacking the heal trigger. Very incorrect move. Would have been better just ending the turn. Now there's less grade 0s on the field. Not only that, but he can Legion to put back those heals, and he's gonna do it. So let's see, it's gonna put back 2 heals. Probably 2 draws as well, or draw an Alfred. Oh, nope. Grade 2 and Perfect Guard. The fact that grade 2 is going back is probably preparation for the Legion skill again. And more lag. Okay, he put back. He wasn't lagging, he was checking something. He put back the grade 2 into the drop so that he could put an Alfred in there. Which leads me to believe he's out of Alfred. So let's see. 1, 2. He's got one in hand. So the fourth must be in his hand. Otherwise he would have needed to do that. That also would tell Yuna that he has an extra grade 3 in hand, when his hand is already that low to begin with. And the last one is going to be a grade 0. In this situation, if he does call a grade 0, and he's not, I would have said he could have called a Margle. Give 3k to a unit. Combined with everything else he did, that probably would have been a really good idea. The Mei intercepts that immediately. Best thing he could have done with that unit. At this case, it's only 3k. It's great when it's called, but after that it's just kind of sitting there until you use it for something. Damage check is a fam. And if Sky does another damage to... If Sky does another damage to Yuna, I hope he realizes that that skill is going to happen again. He understands. And so he's not doing it. So Soul Blast. And now Gordon is going to become a grade 0. So he just lost an S special intercept. But he put the grade 3 searcher out. Which is good because now he can get rid of it to search for a grade 3. Throws down fam and uses the skill, get more draw. And he's getting a massive hand advantage at this point. Oh, he can't do Fianna's skill because there's only one grade 0. And now there's going to be 2. So Yuna is pretty much controlling Sky's field at this point. Both of them are the grade 3 searcher. Revergo. So that unit, he'll be able to counterblast a witch in order to turn something else into a grade 0 out of the top 5 if she hits. And now this is 25 to the Vanguard. And that's a no pass. No, wait, never mind, it's a 2 pass, I'm sorry. My math is off. And that's 21k. He took it, which means Toy Pogo becomes a 0. And this time there's nothing but heals in there to choose from. It's gotta be a heal. So now he's gonna counter blast, put one into a soul and check for grade 3. Nothing seems to have... Nope, he got one from it. Which means he gets the soul blast and the Legion skill again. Unless it's Ezer and he wants to keep it in order to... Nope, he's gonna do it. I don't think Yuna has anything to fear from his opponent right now. Just kind of looking at the situation, and I can say that. And now Gordon appears. He only called a grade 1 and a grade 2. He's trying not to put zeros on the field because that just makes Yuna's job easier. But we can only imagine where things are going to go from here. And that's a 2 pass, dropping 3 10k guards. That's what you have to do in order to guard for Ezer. But Yuna prepared his hand. And he's making sure he does not give his opponent 2 unflipped damage. Part of the reason why he guarded the Vanguard in the first place, so he doesn't get this skill, Leer. Leer's skill, if it went off, would allow him to add to the soul and get out 2 grade 0s from the deck. One possibility of what he could get from that is a stand trigger, which when it's called to the field, he could soul charge one and unflip a damage. So were that to happen, he could get 2 right away. Rides Rias. I'm guessing this is purely to re-Legion because he doesn't have any zeros on the field. Nope, he's gonna get some. Make Gordon into a 0. Skylimits is doing everything he can, everything within his power to get the grade 0s off the field because he understands what's going to happen if he lets them stay. How many more Deer Day does he have? I'm counting 3 out of deck. So he's going to have a 1k Vanguard from this, and he's going to have to guard it for 3 attacks. He grabs Deer Day immediately, as well as a draw trigger, a crit, and a heal. Have I only seen 3 of his triggers so far? I don't think I've seen the 4th yet. Retires the starter. Now the Vanguard is 1k. Ooh, and that just makes it worse. Now it's minus 5k more. So now it's in the negatives. No guards the Vanguard, as he kinda has to. A heal trigger appears, and no trigger for Sky. So the amount of units he has to give up for this is probably more than what he can afford. Keep in mind he needs 5k just to be at 1k again. And then 10k puts him at 6. Which means 20k puts him at 16. He needs 20k just to guard this. Gets a heal trigger, so he's at 1k again. But even still, he needs 25 to guard this. That's 11. 21. So it's 20k. At this point, Sky Limits is running out of deck. And keep in mind, Yuna only has 3 damage. It'd have to be a no guard to the Vanguard leading into a double critical just to end this in his favor. Apparently, he seems like he's going to do the Legion skill one more time. Which I'm guessing is his way of thinning the deck so he has nothing but triggers left. So he's going for all of it now. So Yuna has to think hard. He might not have the guard. But for Sky to do that, he only has 6 cards left in deck. $11 triggers out of deck. So, unless he has a trigger in hand, 5 out of 6 cards left are triggers. Gets a heal, so this instantly won't end the game. Gets a heal and a crit. And putting it all to that blaster Blade Spirit might have given him the ability to guard this one. So now he can just take the other one. And Sky is thinking heavily about whether or not he wants to give 2 damage to his opponent right now. Because he is afraid of the witch skills. He's at the point where he has to be because he's nearing the deck out point. At this point, Yuna might be able to deck him out just with Rias' skill. At this point, Yuna has almost won the game. He hasn't quite won, but he's all but won. And he is thinking about exactly how to handle the situation from here. I can't tell if that was lag or he was thinking a lot, but 11 to the Vanguard. My question is Sky going to try to guard everything? He kind of has no choice. If he even takes 1 damage, then he can't attack with the Vanguard next turn. So that's a 1 pass. And he does have the crit from last turn, so that's a 2 pass. He has enough to guard. And that's a draw trigger. Keep in mind, if Sky takes this attack, he cannot attack with the Vanguard next turn. And he took it. Sky can't attack with Vanguard or he loses. Because he has 2 cards left in deck. When he twin drives, he'll be out of deck. And I was disconnected for doing nothing. It's clear to say what happened, but I'll try to get us back to the game if we can. If not, see you in the next game.